Hey guys, it's me. Okay, so we're going to, I heard from some of you yesterday, and y'all want me to start doing my math videos again? That's fine. Yesterday I had technical difficulties, so as long as I don't have technical difficulties, I can do my videos. Okay, so those of you that had me last year will recognize this. Sorry, I don't have a weird hat. I'm going to make this kind of quick, okay? So listen carefully. You should be taking notes, just as if we're in the classroom. Nothing's going to change. You're taking notes. Now, the only thing that's different is that I can't look up and see who's still taking notes and pausing and everything. So what I need your substitute to do is to pause the note taking here and there and make sure that y'all are taking the notes at a decent rate. If any of you are not done and you need him to pause it again or something, you need to say something. Okay, I'm not there. I can't see if you're still taking notes and everything. I'm not there to make sure you are taking notes. He is, but this is your responsibility. All right, now if you have problems, this video you can find on my YouTube channel, and you can watch it at home again as well. All right, today we're learning about interest. Now, I'm supposed to teach you about simple and compound interest. I'm not there. So I'm going to, just like regular distance learning, I got to pick my battles here. So you're only going to learn about simple interest. We're not going to worry about compound interest today. When I get back into the classroom with y'all, then, which should be next week, I'm hearing, sometime, I'm not sure when, hopefully. But I will definitely come back to this, okay? So we're going to make this short and sweet. Here we go. Y'all ready? So we're 7-7 or 7.7. Yeah, 7.7. We're talking about interest. By the way, I miss y'all and I hate being home. Okay, interest. It's the amount of money paid for the use of money. Okay, so I'm going to, every once in a while, because I'm not in the classroom, I'm going to let your substitute kind of give some better examples and everything. If you need more examples, explanations, stories, and everything, he would probably do really well in that area. If I was in the classroom, I'd be telling you story after story after story. But I want to get the video done for y'all. Okay, the formula for this. It's PERT. Everyone remembers it as PERT. Interest equals principal times rate times time. All three of these letters are being multiplied together, okay? The I stands for interest. The P stands for the principal. And it is the amount of money that's borrowed or put into bank. And I'll explain this in a minute. And again, I guarantee he would do a good job too. Rate. Okay, remember up until I was gone, every time you hear the word rate, what does that mean? That's your percent. That's your percent. It's the annual rate of interest. Okay, it's your percent though. Rate is your percent. Time. T is for time. And it's measured, or it's written for, in this aspect, in years, not months. They'll give you problems with months, but you have to convert it to years. Convert into years. Okay. Now let me explain this a little bit, but I'm trying to hurry, okay? Because I don't want to take up too much of y'all's time on this. All right, guys, let me explain how this goes. Let's say Taylor got $1,000 for his birthday, okay? He got $1,000 for his birthday. Well, he's decided, you know what? There's a gaming system, or we could say Air Jordan, since, what was that he kept saying? Jared Jordan's? I don't know. Whatever y'all were talking about the other day. But let's say he wants a gaming system, or a gaming computer. Those are expensive. And it's going to cost him some money. So he's decided he wants to put this money in. Well, this is not a good example. Let's say he wants to save up. There we go. He wants to save up for this gaming system. So he takes $1,000. That $1,000 is your principal. He's taking that money and he's putting it into the bank, into like a savings account. Okay, it's a special savings account. All right, not all savings accounts will do this, but let's say he put it in the bank. So the principal's his $1,000 that he got, and he's going to leave it there for, let's say, 2 years. Okay, so he's going to leave it in a savings account for 2 years. Well, if it's one of these, if it's a savings account that will draw in or bring in interest. Interest is what I call bonus money. I'm going to write that down. Bonus money. Okay? And so what it does is, while it's sitting in the bank, his $1,000, he's gaining interest. Okay? The bank, at the end of 2 years, will pay him extra money, depending on what their interest rate is. Okay? That determines how much. So at the end of 2 years, he may go to the bank and say, I want my money out. I want to go ahead now and buy this gaming system. And they say, okay, well, here's your money back plus $200. So his money gained interest. Interest would be that $200 just for leaving it in the bank. So like my son, Zachary, he works right now. And every time he gets a paycheck, a part of his paycheck goes into his checking account for him to spend money, whenever he needs it. But then a large chunk of it goes into a savings account. He doesn't touch it. He just leaves it there in case of an emergency, in case of, like if he had a car, if it broke down, it needs tires or something like that. But while it's sitting there, it's gaining interest. Okay? So he's basically earning money for doing nothing. Just sitting in the bank, he's earning extra money, that bonus money, okay? Now, let's go back to Taylor. Let's say Taylor wants to buy some gaming system that he didn't have the money for, okay? Which is typically what you guys want to do to all of us parents. So anyway, he goes to the bank and says, there's this gaming system that's $6,000, and I want to buy it. So then he goes to the bank and borrows money. He borrows $6,000. That is also the principal. He borrowed $6,000 to buy the gaming system. Taylor goes and buys a gaming system. And then with his, let's say, maybe he gets, what is that stuff you get? Oh my gosh. Like it, oh, what am I thinking? I'm at a loss. Like every month you get money for being good kids. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I had a brain fart. Okay, anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all probably yelling out the answer right now. Okay, so anyway, let's say he just gets money for making good grades. Okay? So he's got to pay the bank back. He borrowed money from the bank. It's like borrowing money from your parents or borrowing $1 from each other. You got to pay it back, right? Well, the bank and maybe your parents will say, well, yeah, we'll loan you the money, but it's going to cost you. And that's interest. Okay, so see, it can be one way or the other. It could be stuff that you earn by keeping your money in a savings account, or if you have to borrow money for a gaming system, a car. I mean, gaming systems, just so that you understand. Usually it's for a car or a house or something like that. But you have to pay the bank back, not only the money that you borrowed, but they're going to charge you bonus money. Okay? They're going to say, well, it's going to cost you if you want to borrow this money. So you have to pay both back. So for example, let's say Taylor borrows $6,000. $6,000 is his principal, but he's got to pay the bank back $6,000 plus whatever the rate is. So he may end up paying them back maybe $6,000 plus $300. Okay, so then he's got to pay back $6,300. So he borrowed $6,000, but he's got to pay back more. Does that make sense? If not, your sub can pause the video and explain it better. Okay, so let's keep going. To find, I gave you a chance to catch up on notes too. To find the total amount repaid, that's if you're borrowing money, after a certain allowance. That's the word I was looking for, allowance. Okay, earlier. There you go. After a certain period of time, you will add the interest to the principal. And by the way, guys, a lot of y'all like to talk when I'm teaching in the classroom. I have to keep stopping and reminding y'all to stop so that people can hear. If you are talking during this video, you are not helping the situation. So while this video is going, you are not to speak. You can raise your hand and your substitute can pause the video and y'all can discuss if you have a question, but you are not to yell out, you know, constant random things. Got it? Okay. That's why I wish y'all were at home right now. Okay. To find the total amount repaid, that's if you're borrowing, after a certain period of time, you will add the interest to the principal. It's kind of like what we were talking about. If Taylor borrowed $6,000 and, you know, after 2 years he has to pay back all his money or something, that interest would have been that extra $200 or $300 that he had to repay. So instead of $6,000 that he would repay the bank, it'd be like $6,200 or something. Okay, here's a formula. But, I mean, it's common sense, but just in case this is confusing to you, this is your formula. This is exactly what I just said. A is your amount due. That's the amount you're repaying the bank. The total amount that you're repaying the bank if you borrow money. Again, this is if you're borrowing money. P, again, is your principal. I is your interest. Again, remember the thing with Taylor. He borrowed $6,000. Bank is going to charge him money for that, like a fee. Okay, like a fee. And let's say it was $200. The total amount that he repays the bank is going to be $6,000 plus that $200. So he would be repaying $6,200. Okay, so I'm gonna move on because now I'd be telling y'all that's just simple interest. Now I'd be teaching y'all about compound interest. With this situation, that's gonna be a big old no. I gotta keep my phone here. Okay, someone has a question, so I'll just pause it. All right, we're looking good on time too. All right, so now we're gonna go straight to examples in your book. I really hate not being in the classroom. I can't see your faces. We can't have normal discussions. So open up your books to page $300. Your substitute can pause this while you are opening up your books and getting ready. Do not start until all students have their books open and are ready to go. Do it quick, guys. Okay. Number one, we're going to do number one together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the directions. It says, find the amount of interest due on the following simple interest loans. Loans, that means you're borrowing money from the bank. They're loaning you something. So number one, the question, find the amount of interest. So what are we looking for? Are we looking for the total amount that you're paying the bank back or just the interest? Okay, that's a common mistake. The students don't always know what they're asking, and they'll give me too many answers, and they're doing more work than they should. This time in your directions, they want just the interest. That's what they want to know. They gave you $4,200 at 12% for 2 years. Okay, so let me ask you, what's the principal? Okay, remember the principal is the money that you're either putting into the bank or, like for a savings account, or that you're borrowing. So they say $4,200 for what you're borrowing. That is your principal. And that says at 12%. 12%. What is that? All right, remember, percent is your rate. Oh, boys and girls, what do we do every time we see the percent sign? What do we need to change it to? That's right, a decimal. You put an imaginary decimal there at the end, if there's not one already in there. You move it 2 places to the left, and you end up with 0.12. All right, and then it says for 2 years. Okay, remember the rule. That's going to be your time, and it's 2 years. It has to be in years. Luckily, this time it is. Sometimes it's going to say months, and we got to change that. So then that's more work, and we don't want that. So be happy when they give you the years. Okay. Now, what is our formula? Bye. Okay. Not you guys. Here's the formula. I equals PERT. I equals PERT. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So we just plug it in. Interest equals, here's our principal, $4,200 times rate, and so times 0.12 times time times 2. There we go. Now you may use calculators. I think I need to take that away when I come back, but since I'm not there, I want to make life easy on y'all, so you may use calculators. You know, some of y'all think are getting dumb from that because y'all are still like not adding. No, I'm sorry, that's my Algebra 1 class. Okay, anyway, just kidding. Don't tell the Algebra 1 class I just said that. Okay, so if you would calculate that correctly, you would get $1,008. That's your interest. So let's say we're back to this. Let's say Gabby borrows $4,200 because she wants to go shopping at the mall. And she needs to borrow money from the bank for that. Now, does she pay the bank this money back? Or does she pay, what does she pay back the bank? Well, this is that bonus money I was telling you about. This is your answer, by the way. Okay, so we're going to put a box there. That's your answer. But just for understanding purpose, this is that bonus money, like the fee that they would charge Gabby for borrowing that money. Guys, that's bad interest. That is way too much, in my opinion. So if she were to go back and pay the bank back, she would be doing $4,200 plus this fee for borrowing the money. She would end up, in the end, after 2 years, having to pay back $5,208. That's what she would end up totally paying the bank back when she was just borrowing this. That's a lot of money. That's $1,000 extra. So that's what I'm saying. Borrowing money from the bank, you need to try not to do that, first of all. Save it for big things like cars and houses and stuff that y'all don't need to worry about right now. But know that the higher the interest rate, the more money you're going to have to pay back. And you don't want to have to do that. You don't want to have to pay all that extra money back. Trust me, I know. Your parents know. It took me like 10 years just to pay the interest back on my house. So anyway, this is the money that you're borrowing, the principal. This is the money that fee. Okay, so do we understand? This is how much total you would have to pay the bank back. But for number 1, the directions just wanted interest. All right, let's do number 3. If you have questions, pause the video, and I know your substitute can answer them. Okay, number 3, it's the same thing, but it's okay, you can come in. I've got a house full of people. Okay, we're just going to go on. What's our formula? No. Interest equals principal times rate times time. They're asking again what the interest is. Oh my gosh, I'm having flashbacks of last spring. Okay, for 3, the principal is $4,000. The rate is 15%. And remember, we have to change that to a decimal. So we're going to move the decimal over 2 places and we get 0.15. The time is 3 years. And remember, it has to be done in years, and thankfully this one is already there. So we're going to set that up. Interest equals the principal, 4,000, times the rate, times the time. Okay? Now, I want your substitute to pause the video, and then y'all work this out and see if you get the same answer, okay? Don't take too much time. And then when you come back, you can see if the answer is correct. Okay, guys, that should be your interest if you calculated it correctly. Okay? So if you borrow $4,000, and the bank has a rate of 15%, after 3 years, you're going to have that fee that they charge you for borrowing is going to be $1,800. Now, if you want to know how much total you had to pay the bank back, take your principal, how much money you're borrowing, add your interest, and that is the amount of money that you would have to pay the bank back. Okay, but number 3, they just asked what the interest was. So this would be your final answer. If they asked how much you'd be paying the bank back, this is what you do. You just add it. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Again, if at any time substitute, you need to pause because I'm going too fast. It's fine. When I'm not in the classroom, I don't know my pacing. Okay, number 7. Whoops. Turn it. Number 7, I'll read the directions. It says find the interest and the amount to pay back on the following simple interest loans. Okay, this is basically what we did here. You got to first find the interest and then add the 2 and you get your final answer. So they asked find the interest and the amount to pay back. That's the 2 steps here, okay? First one, they just asked for interest. This one, they want total. All right, so for 7, again, same formula, PERT. All right, we don't know the interest. They didn't give it to us. They did give us the principal. That's the amount of money that you borrowed. That would be $750. They gave you a rate at 12%. Why on earth would, okay. Anyway, you're borrowing 7. You know what? Their washer probably went out. That happened to me. Almost thought I was going to have to borrow some money too. Okay, so we need to change the 12% into what? That's right, boys and girls, a decimal. I should have wrote that in black. That doesn't matter. Our time. Okay, here's where it's crazy. It says 9 months. That M-O, that is your months. M-O means months. Can we have months? No, we cannot have months. Years only. Okay? By the way, real quickly, because I've got my phone's blowing up. Guys, I'm doing the posting in Google Classroom for your history and your English, ELA. Guys, if you post questions on that, I do not get the emails or notifications on my phone. I only get it for my personal stuff, for my Google Classroom. So if you have comments or questions or anything on the other Google Classroom, your history and stuff like that, you're going to need to text me. Okay, you all have my number, or you can email me. But don't post questions on there unless you are communicating with each other, because I will not see them unless I physically get on that, okay? I don't get those notifications because it's not mine, but I'm the one manning it. So ask all questions to me, emails or text messages. Okay, back to this. We have to change the months into years. We do that by dividing 9 months over how many months are in a year? 12. Okay, so 9 months, that's what they gave you. This is the months equal year. Okay, 12 months equal year. So if you divide that properly, 9 divided by 12, you would get 0.75. Okay? That's your time. If you divide 9 by 12, you would get 0.75. All right, so let's plug it all in. Principal times rate, and we do 0.12, times time, and it's 0.75. If you put 9 in there, you will get a wrong answer because it's in, it's in months. All right? Okay, so if you multiply that out, your interest is $67.50. For the sake of time, I'm just going to start giving y'all answers, okay? That's your interest. But they wanted the amount total that you'd pay back like we did before. So you're going to take the principal and you're going to add your interest. And we line up decimals, right? So $67.50. That's how you would write it. And we can go ahead and put the decimal and the zeros there. You must line up decimals when adding. If you add correctly, which I know you all will, this will be your total amount. That is what total amount paid back to bank. Okay? All right. You can pause if you have questions and he will help you out. All right, number 9. We're going to do another one. And let's see, I think. Yeah, this is the last one we're doing. Yep. Okay, number 9. Oh yeah, this is ugly. Okay. Again, same thing. You're doing the exact same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's 18 months. Oh my. Okay, so here we go. Interest equals PERT. That's your formula. You got to memorize it. We're looking for interest first, and then we do total payback. What is your principal? It is $2,500. That's how much you're borrowing. Your rate is at a much better rate than before, 11%. And what do? That's right. We change it to 0.11. Our time is in 18 months. See, that's what I'm talking about. 18 months. And what does it have to be? Can it be in months? No way, Jose. It's got to be in years. Now you got to do some extra math here, okay? I like it when it's nice and neat and it's just years, but you know, it is what it is. How do we do that? We put 18 over, so that's your months. 18 over 12, because there's 12 months in a year. You divide that, 18 divided by 12, and you get 1.5. Okay, so it's 1.5 years. Okay, this is what you're going to be using, not the 18 months. Make sense? Good. So now we're going to go ahead and multiply it all together. Interest equals principal per 2,500 times 0.11 times your time, which is 1.5. Multiply it all together, I'm running out of space, and you get $412.50. All right, so that is my interest, but I'm not done yet. That's the bonus money. Still a lot, y'all. I mean, I would rather y'all save up your allowance and stuff like that instead of having to borrow from the bank. That you can see, if you borrow this, you know, a little bit amount, that's wasting money. Because look at this, you have to pay them back. That's terrible. You need to just save up your money or get a job before you go borrow a whole bunch of money, because that's crazy. That's $400 you could be spending on yourself and not giving to the bank. I mean, emergencies happen, but come on. All right, so the next step is to find out how much total you got to pay back. So you're going to take your principal, I can write it right here, $2,500 plus this $412. Ooh, I am having a problem. And 50 cents. Again, we line up our decimals, and then we add the total amount that you pay back to the bank is $2,912.50. That is your final answer. Okay? If you have questions, ask your substitute. I know he is a plethora of information. He will help you. Tonight, if you have questions over your work or something, let me know. Okay? I can help you. I should be back in the classroom soon, and then I can help y'all more. Okay? So get ready. Y'all are going to have a quiz on... I'm moving that. Okay, y'all are going to have a quiz. Oh, I haven't told you what your homework is. Let me put that on here. Your homework is going to be page 300 to 301. You're going to do numbers 2 through 14 even. Only, okay? Yeah, you're going to do 2 through 14 even. That's due Monday. I'm grading everything that I've been, that y'all been doing the last couple of days this weekend. I'm going to move your quiz to Tuesday. You have a quiz over these things, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the stuff you learned this week on Tuesday. Okay, and then I'll let you know when the test is. The test, I think, is still going to be okay, but I need, since I'm not there walking around and circling your work to make sure you're doing it okay, I got to grade these papers to find out if everyone's okay or we need to readdress this. So I'm moving the quiz to Tuesday so I can have time to look over y'all's work and know if y'all are actually ready for it. Does that make sense? Okay, so don't worry. It's going to be moved to Tuesday. I know the board is in the hallway and it says something different. I'm changing it here and on the proto page, okay? Even if on Google Classroom it says something else, just know your quiz is on Tuesday, okay? IXL, that, I can't remember when it's due, but don't forget to do that. It'll be on your proto page as well. Follow due dates on the proto page homework tab, and if Aiden or anyone doesn't know where that is, y'all help them out and show them, okay? Because I am grading this stuff. I'm sticking to it. I'm hoping to be back in the classroom soon, guys, okay? Take care. Miss y'all. Bye-bye.